What first drew me to cold therapy? It's kind of a long story. It started with a mental health crisis. It started back in 2019. I was feeling a bit off, feeling kind of depressed, feeling anxious. Wasn't really sure what was going on. Didn't think much about it. At the time, we were getting ready to go on vacation. We were going to Ecuador. We were going to stay at an eco lodge in the Amazon rainforest. So got up that morning, still feeling off, got on a plane, and I ended up having a panic attack. I'd never had a panic attack before. I had no idea what was going on, but basically I cried all the way from Arizona to Florida. I had no idea what was happening to my body. We still ended up going to the Amazon, but my symptoms just kept getting worse and worse. I had severe anxiety, severe depression, severe insomnia, and it just kept compounding. So long story short, we ended up cutting our trip short. I figured I'd get home, everything would be back to normal, life would go on, and I would be good. But I was far from what happened. It turned into 7 months of pure hell. And I tried supplements, I tried medication, and unfortunately the medications I tried, the side effects were so bad I couldn't stay on them, or it created worse symptoms for me. I tried working out, I tried therapy, I tried EMDR. Nothing was able to get me out of this deep depression that I was in until I got in cold water. My brother had mentioned to me, hey, have you ever heard of this guy called Wim Hof? For those of you that don't know, Wim Hof really is like the OG of this whole movement, this whole recent movement of cold therapy. I believe his wife had committed suicide, so he was in a really dark place as well. And he found that breathwork and cold exposure really helped him. So I found a place in Arcadia. At the time, back in 2019, it was one of the only wellness centers that had cold therapy. But I jumped in a tub. I think the first one was 42 degrees. And I was driving home that night and my whole world flipped. I did a complete 180. That darkness that was hovering over me, that cloud, just lifted. I had my sense of humor back. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel again. It was just amazing, and I was shocked. And from there, I was a firm believer in cold exposure. I would drive from Chandler to Arcadia every morning just to do a cold plunge. I did this every day for a year without missing. I started looking for cold plunges. I'm like, hey, I have to have something at my house. I need to continue this practice. But unfortunately, everything out there, and there was not a lot of companies out there at the time, but it was just way too expensive and it wasn't gonna work well because I had to have it outside. So that's one of the reasons why I started looking for options that would suit my needs better and in a hotter climate.
So when Matt set out to design a cold plunge that would work for our needs, it was a fascinating journey to watch. Everything that he does is with so much heart and intention. He has such high standards for whatever he does. So this process was really intense. So from my point of view, he was working full-time at the time as an electrical contractor, a VP of an electrical contracting company. And then he would come home at night and work for hours in the garage, on the design, perfecting it, making changes. And this went on for months. So the kids and I kind of had to give up on a lot of quality time with him. But he just poured his whole heart and soul into creating an amazing product. The process was, it was exhausting, it was daunting. He came up against so many roadblocks that would feel devastating at the time because of how emotionally invested he was in it. But he always overcame it with a better solution and figured everything out, even when it felt like that was the end or where it was just completely a moment of defeat. So I got to see that over and over so many times, which the public doesn't get to see. And when he decided to go all in on Desert Plunge, it was just a massive risk. It was super scary. He had been an electrical contractor for 20 years, was very good at his job. And really we had it made as far as working with our best friends, finances, all of those things. Our family was very comfortable, but he wasn't truly passionate about it like he is health and wellness. Health and wellness drives him, and his heart is fully invested. And so we knew we were at a fork in the road where we had to make a decision. Is he gonna go all in on this? And honestly, I panicked and completely freaked out, even though I had been encouraging him along the road of developing this cold plunge. But when it came time to actually pull the trigger, there was so much that he had to walk away from, that our hearts were invested in. It was the scariest thing we had ever did. It was like jumping off a cliff. We had to just have full faith at that time. And I remember I needed some reassurance. And he said, I believe this is what we're supposed to do. Just give me 1 year. And I was like, okay. We went all in. It was scary. It was wild. We felt all of the emotions that a person could feel, especially raising 2 kids and running a home and a family. But you know what? We've never looked back, and we're so thankful that we did it. God has blessed us in ways, and blessed this company in ways that we could have only dreamed of. So for us, we're just super proud. We feel like we're fully living through this company, and we're just glad to have everybody along the ride with us.